Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. There's more stuff in my bag there. Need percussionists. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nam Bhajan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Haribo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhajare, hey, Radha Govinda Gopala Hare, hey, Bhajare, hey, Radha Govinda Gopala Hare. Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopala, Radha Shyamasundar, Radha Gopinatha, Radha Kalachandji, Radha Lanishwarna, Radha Gokulananda, Rukmini Drakiri, Radha Giridhare, Radha Mata, Radha Govinda, Radha Landinishwara, Radha Nilamada, Oh Radha Damodara, Radha Bank Bihari, Bhajare, hey, Radha Govinda Gopala Hare. Come on. Bhajare, hey, Radha Govinda Gopala Hare. Hey. ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बारंबार प्रणाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बारंबार प्रणाम है, ऐसे श्री ज्ञान श्याम को मेरे बारंबार प्रणाम है, ज्ञान श्याम को मेरे बारंबार प्रणाम है। को प्रेमानंदे निताई गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल। Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Reta Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Welcome back everyone to the Govardhan Studios. Thank you. Where we're bringing you the live presentation of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right now we're working on the Madhya Lila. Thanks for joining us online. for being in studio. We're going to take up where we left off right before the break, and that's at text number 271. 271. Prabhu kahe, mukte pada ra aro arto hoy, mukte pada shabde sakshat ishhar kahay. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, the word mukti pade has another meaning. Muktipad directly refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All kinds of liberation exist under the feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is known as Muktipad. According to another meaning, Mukti is the ninth subject, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the shelter of liberation. Purport: Lord Sri Krishna is also known as Mukunda, or one who gives transcendental bliss by offering all kinds of mukti. Srimad Bhagavatam is divided into 12 cantos, and in the 9th canto different kinds of mukti are described. But the 10th canto is the actual center of all discussions of mukti, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is the 10th subject discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam, is the exclusive subject of the 10th canto. Since all types of muktis reside at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, he may be called Muktipad. May be called what? Muktipad. Since I can understand Krishna according to these two meanings, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what point is there in changing the verse? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, I was not able to give that reading to the verse. Although your explanation is correct, it should not be used because there is ambiguity in the word muktipad. The word mukti refers to 5 kinds of liberation, but its direct meaning usually conveys the idea of becoming one with the Lord. The very sound of the word mukti immediately induces hate and fear. But when we say the word bhakti, we naturally feel transcendental bliss within the mind. Upon hearing this explanation, the Lord began to laugh, and with great pleasure immediately embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya very firmly. Indeed, that very person who had been accustomed to reading and teaching Mayavad philosophy was now even hating the word mukti. This was possible only by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As long as it does not turn iron into gold by its touch, no one can recognize an unknown stone to be a touchstone. Upon seeing transcendental Vaishnavism in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, everyone could understand that Lord Chaitanya was none other than Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. After this incident, all the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri, headed by Kashi Mishra, came to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Later, I shall describe how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya always engaged in the service of the Lord. I shall also describe in full detail how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya perfectly rendered service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by offering him alms. If one hears with faith and love these pastimes concerning Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he very soon is freed from the net of speculation and fruit of activity and attains the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. I repeat, if one hears with faith and love these pastimes concerning Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he very soon is freed from the net of speculation and fruit of activity and attains the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. Shri Rup Raghunath Pade Jar Ash Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Dash. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 6th chapter, describing the liberation of Sarva Bhauma Bhattacharya. Haribo! Bravo! Jai, Jai! Sadhu, Sadhu! Bravissimo! End. Dear devotees, I'm opening the next book. It's a mystery how an unmeasurable unit known as the page, when turned systematically, can bring one to the end of a book. It's the same in all our endeavors in life. If we just do the best we can, even if we think our endeavor is paper thin, and we just keep doing it every day and showing up for it, then by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we'll notice that we've called progress to our lives. Chapter 7, the Lord begins his tour of South India. Haribo! In his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur summarizes the 7th chapter as follows. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order of life in the month of Magh, January, February, and went to Jagannath Puri in the month of Phalguna, February, March. He saw the Doli Yatra festival during the month of Phalguna, and in the month of Chaitra he liberated Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. During the month of Vaisesika, he began to tour South India. When he proposed to travel to South India alone, Sri Nityananda Prabhu gave him a Brahmana assistant named Krishnadas. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was beginning his tour, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gave him 4 sets of clothes and requested him to see Ramananda Roy, who was residing at that time on the bank of the river Godavari. Along with the other devotees, Nityananda Prabhu accompanied the Lord to Allahanath, but there Lord Chaitanya left them all behind and went ahead with the Brahmana Krishnadas. The Lord began chanting the mantra, Krishna, 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 Hey. In whatever village he spent the night, whenever a person came to see him in his shelter, the Lord implored him to preach the Krishna consciousness movement. After teaching the people of one village, the Lord proceeded to other villages to increase devotees. In this way, he finally reached Kurmastan. While there, he bestowed his causeless mercy upon a Brahmana called Kurma and cured another Brahmana named Vasudeva, who was suffering from leprosy. After curing this Brahmana leper, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received the title Vasudevamrita Prada, meaning one who delivered nectar to the leper Vasudeva.
Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Ma. Krishna, 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 Parima.
Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pa, He, Mam. 3, 2, 1. Krishna! Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being very compassionate toward a Brahmana named Vasudeva, cured him of leprosy. He transformed him into a beautiful man satisfied with devotional service. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the glorious Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. After delivering Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the Lord desired to go to South India to preach. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order during the waxing fortnight of the month of Magh. During the following month, Phalguna, he went to Jagannath Puri and resided there. At the end of the month of Phalguna, he witnessed the Dola Yatra ceremony, and in his usual ecstatic love of God, he chanted and danced in various ways on the occasion. During the month of Chaitra, while living at Jagannath Puri, the Lord delivered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And at the beginning of the next month, Vaisesika, he decided to go to South India. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called all his devotees together and holding them by the hand, humbly informed them, "You are all more dear to me than my life. I can give up my life, but to give you up is difficult for me. You are all my friends, and you have properly executed the duties of friends by bringing me here to Jagannath Puri and giving me the chance to see Jagannath in the temple. I now beg all of you for one bit of charity. Please give me permission to leave for a tour of South India. I shall go to search out Vishvarup. Please forgive me, but I want to go alone. I do not wish to take anyone with me. Until I return from Setabanda, all of you, dear friends, should remain at Jagannath Puri." Knowing everything, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was aware that Vishvarup had already passed away. A pretense of ignorance was necessary, however, so that he could go to South India and liberate the people there. Upon hearing this message from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees became very unhappy and remained silent with sullen faces. Nityananda Prabhu then said, "How is it possible for you to go alone? Who can tolerate this? Let one or two of us go with you, otherwise you may fall into the clutches of thieves and rogues along the way. They may be whomever you like, but 2 persons should go with you. Indeed, I know all the paths to the different places of pilgrimage in South India. Just order me and I shall go with you." The Lord replied, "I am simply a dancer, and you are the wire puller. However you pull the wires to make me dance, I shall dance in that way." After accepting the sannyas order, I decided to go to Vrindavan, but you took me instead to the house of Advaita Acharya. While on the way to Jagannath Puri, you broke my sannyas staff. I know that all of you have great affection for me, but such things disturb my activities. Jagannananda wants me to enjoy bodily sense gratification, and out of fear I do whatever he tells me to do. If I sometimes do something against his desire out of anger, he will not talk to me for 3 days. Being a sannyasi, I have a duty to lie down on the ground and to take a bath 3 times a day, even during the winter. But Mukunda becomes very unhappy when he sees my severe austerities. Of course, Mukunda does not say anything, but I know that he is very unhappy within, and upon seeing him unhappy, I become twice as unhappy. Although I am in the renounced order of life and Damodar is a brahmachari, he still keeps a stick in his hand just to educate me. According to Damodar, I am still a neophyte as far as social etiquette is concerned. Therefore, he does not like my independent nature. Damodar Pandit and others are more advanced in receiving the mercy of Lord Krishna. Therefore, they are independent of public opinion. As such, they want me to enjoy sense gratification even though it be unethical. But since I am a poor sannyasi, I cannot abandon the duties of the renounced order, and therefore I follow them strictly. A brahmachari is supposed to assist a sannyasi, therefore a brahmachari should not try to instruct the sannyasi. That is the etiquette. Consequently, Damodar should not have advised Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of his duty. Text 28. You should all therefore remain here at Nilachala for some days while I tour the sacred places of pilgrimage alone. Actually, the Lord was controlled by the good qualities of all his devotees. On the pretense of attributing faults, he tasted all these qualities. Purport: all the accusations made by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu against his beloved devotees actually showed his great appreciation of their intense love for him. Yet he mentioned these faults one after another as if he were offended by their intense affection. The personal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes behaved contrary to regulative principles out of intense love for the Lord. And because of their love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself sometimes violated the regulative principles of a sannyasi. In the eyes of the public, such violations are not good. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so controlled by his devotees' love that he was obliged to break some of the rules. Although accusing them, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was indirectly indicating that he was very satisfied with their behavior and pure love of Godhead. Therefore, in verse 27, he mentions that his devotees and associates place more importance on love of Krishna than on social etiquette. There are many instances of devotional service rendered by previous acharyas who did not care about social behavior when intensely absorbed in love for Krishna. Unfortunately, as long as we are within this material world, we must observe social customs to avoid criticism by the general public. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire. No one can properly describe Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's affection for his devotees. He always tolerated all kinds of personal unhappiness resulting from his acceptance of the renounced order of life. The regulative principles observed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were sometimes intolerable, and all the devotees became greatly affected by them. Although strictly observing the regulative principles, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not tolerate the unhappiness felt by his devotees. Therefore, to prevent them from accompanying him and becoming unhappy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared their good qualities to be false. The Lord wanted to tour all the places of pilgrimage alone and strictly observe the duties of the renounced order. 4 devotees then humbly insisted that they go with the Lord, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead, did not accept their request. Thereupon Nityananda said, "Whatever you order is my duty, regardless of whether it results in happiness or unhappiness. Yet I still submit one petition to you. Please consider it, and if you think it proper, please accept it. You must take with you a loincloth, external clothes, and a water pot. You should take nothing more than this. Since your 2 hands will always be engaged in chanting and counting the holy names, how will you be able to carry the water pot and external garments?" Purport: from this verse it is clear that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting the holy name a fixed number of times daily. The Goswamis used to follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Haridas Thakur also followed this principle. Concerning the Goswamis, Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatan Goswami, Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Srila Jiva Goswami, Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Srinivasacharya confirms Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibi. In addition to other duties, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the system of chanting the holy name of the Lord a fixed number of times daily. As confirmed in this verse, Tomar Dui Hasta Bhada Nam Ganane. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to count on his fingers. While one hand was engaged in chanting, the other hand kept the number of rounds. This is corroborated in the Chaitanya Chandamrita and also in Srila Rupa Goswami's Stavamala. Badnan prema bhar prakampita karo grantin kati dorakai sankyatum nija loka mangala hare krishneti nam japan. Hare krishneti uchai spurita rasano nama ganana krita granti shreni subhagati sutro jwalakara. Therefore, devotees in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must chant at least 16 rounds daily. And this is the number prescribed by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Haridas Thakur daily chanted 300,000 names. 16 rounds is about 28,000 names. There's no need to imitate Haridas Thakur or the other Goswamis, but chanting the holy name a fixed number of times daily is essential for every devotee. Comments, reflections, questions? Looking to the outside people's party. What happened to all your chairs out there? Everyone's happy in the back, sitting down. Okay. Nothing from the outside? Inside people's party, we've got two, starting with Mukaravinda, who was first.
In the last session, we were reading about Patanjali's system, Patanjali's yoga system, and then Prabhupada says that how ultimately he was more towards the Mayavadi conclusion. But I was remembering that you mentioned that the Iswar Pranidhan, he mentioned that the highest way of reaching the phase, some Iswar Pranidhan. So I was just thinking how these both are related.
Well, just because they have a personal conception of God and they have the name Om, which is their main thing, doesn't mean they don't want to merge into the Lord.
So Patanjali kind of ultimately he was teaching the more Mayavad, Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
Worse than Mayavad, because he wanted to merge into the body of the Lord. It's a little impersonal. If you read the Yoga Sutras, there's no sense of bhakti. It's all about consciousness and noticing that you're not your body, you're not your mind, and then experiencing consciousness and so forth. But Prabhupada said that, so in the Gita he talks about Ishvara Pranidhan. Prabhupada mentions, not the specific mantra, but he says that Patanjali Muni recommends we offer obeisances to the Lord. It's kind of in this same vein as Prabhupada quoting Shankaracharya throughout, saying, he said that Govinda is transcendental to material nature. Doesn't mean that he's a bhakta.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. I liked hearing how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is controlled by the love of his devotees to the point where he comes to the devotees and begs them for a bit of charity to leave their company. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is begging the devotees to leave for the tour of South India. I thought that was very sweet.
It is. Very sweet. Yes.
So Maharaj, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India before Vrindavan. What was the thinking behind that? And Nityanand Prabhu tried to stop him from going to Vrindavan, but not South India. So could you elaborate on that?
Well, he wanted to go preach. If you preach, then it gives you a qualification to go to Vrindavan. They all tried to stop him always. You'll find in all the circumstances where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to do something, they'd make excuses. Oh, you can't go now because there's a festival coming up, or you can't go because the weather. it's too cold, too hot, and so forth. That was out of love. They wanted to hold him, have him come. He was on his way to Vrindavan first, right after he took sannyas, but Lord Inanda, as he just said, tricked him, brought him back to Advaitacharya's house. Yes?
Wasn't it that Sachimata told Mahaprabhu that go to Jagannath Puri because people from Navadvip are often going to Jagannath Puri,
Yeah.
so that we can know about your happenings in that
That's
way.
right.
So that's also, I think, part of the answer.
Okay.
It could be.
Thank you. Yes, from the Outside People's Party.
Hare Krishna. In the end of the last chapter where we started off today, where Sarvabhauma was explaining how he didn't want to hear the word muktipad,
Yeah.
and Lord Chaitanya gave another explanation. And does that same muktipad and bhaktipad, does that also apply? Because oftentimes in the Tulsi prayers, some people don't like to say Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi. They want to say Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi. Does that apply there, or is there a different understanding, or can you help me understand that?
Well, Srila Bhakti Sanata's Padatis use Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi. And by the way, it's Vrindai Tulsi Devyai. Some of you are saying Vrindai Tulsi Devai, which means something else. It's good to look carefully what you're singing. But yeah, it's Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Keshavasya Vishnu Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavachai Namah. Probably some ISKCON devotee said, no, this will never do. We cannot go to Vaikuntha or think of Nitya Tarangani.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. I have a couple of reflections from our online audience. First one is from Shirley.
From who?
Shirley.
Okay.
She says Hare Krishna and sends her love to the Dham. And the next one is from Apara Gaurangi Mataji. She has a question. Why is there special emphasis given to chanting in the Hare Nama verse when it is also mentioned that by following any of the 9 processes of bhakti, one can attain perfection, and anything connected to Krishna is on an absolute level? For example, the deity worship, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Dham.
Well, there's a long passage on that in the Brihat Bhagavatamrita. And there Sanatana Goswami gives ample evidence about how the primary process in Kali Yuga is the chanting of the holy names. Jiva Goswami also concludes that there are other processes that we engage in. For instance, Archanam is there in the 9. But he says there that because in this age the prime method is chanting Hare Krishna, even with Archanam, it has to be preceded by chanting of the Maha Mantra and followed by chanting of the Maha Mantra in order for it to be successful. And that emphasis is there throughout the teachings of the Goswamis, that's the primary process. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said it himself when asked all the different processes, which completes them all, and it's the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. As to why, it's because it's especially recommended. I mean, the Bhagavatam, and it's recommended because, as an example, the Bhagavatam itself begins by chanting the holy names and ends with chanting the holy names as the means for success. In the first chapter of Bhagavatam, we have Apana Samsritim Goran Yanama Vivashogranan Tato Sadhya Vimucheta Yadvibheti Swayambayam. And there's a verse at the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam about that, and it's emphasized throughout. For instance, Shukadeva Goswami says, Etan nirvidyamananam achitam akuto vayam yoginam nripanirnitam harinam that this is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, whatever situation of life one's in. So it's by, we can understand the way it's emphasized in the Bhagavatam, the way it's emphasized by the Acharyas, and what is its efficacy. That's, Narada Muni says in the Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 5th chapter, Iti murtyabidanena mantra murtim amurtikam yajate yagya purusham sasam yag darshana puman. He says definitively that to see the Lord is difficult. But if you chant the holy names, then it's not difficult. It's amurtikam. Murti means form, and it also means difficulty. So in the verse, it's a play on words, because he's saying it's seeing the form of the Lord, the murti, is amurtikam, or it's murti. But if you chant the holy name, it's amurtikam, which means it's not difficult to see, because yajite yagya purusham sasam yag darshanapumam. The full darshan of the Lord is there in chanting the holy names. I just threw a bunch of stuff against the wall. I hope it sticks and you can appreciate it. Anything else?
Yes, we have one more from Vaikuntanayak Prabhu. He has a question. It was really touching to see loving concern that devotees had for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Vatsalya Bhav that the elder gopis had for Krishna. Are there such examples of disciples controlling Srila Prabhupada you could share? My understanding is that there is a fine line between following the Guru and breaking the etiquette to serve him the way disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu served him. Can you elaborate on this, please?
Well, of course, the quintessential anecdote was when Prabhupada was ill. And then Prabhupada said, I want to go on a bullock cart around Govardhan Hill. And the Kaviraj who was there said to the caretakers, Abhiram was there, he was Prabhupada's nurse. He recounts the story most lucidly. He said that the devotees had a big debate because the Kaviraj said if he goes on this, he won't survive. And then there were two opinions. Some of the devotees, their senior devotees, said, Prabhupada said it, we have to do it. The other one said, no, we should be more paternal in this case and insist that Prabhupada not go because we don't want him to leave his body because of going on that. So there was that struggle, and that's, as I say, a quintessential example. I say, in earlier days, it wasn't so common because devotees were so new. They had more sense of reverence. But they did, many of the devotees, they would do things for Prabhupada, make him things to make sure he was warm. And Jamuna once on the train, when she was traveling in Dinatarni, I think they were both there perhaps, but Prabhupada he was ill, he wanted some cooked rice. And the train was moving and Jamuna went to cook, and the cooks wouldn't let them in there. The train cooks wouldn't let him in there to cook. And Jamuna, became so ferocious. If I'm remembering correctly, she threatened to jump off the train until they let her use the kitchen to cook for Prabhupada, because she was so protective of him. He wants rice, you have to get it for him. And that's another example. Okay? There's some behind you too, Nitya Tarangini, if you're done. When you're done, take your time.
Yes, the last thing I want to say is we have 20 devotees tuned into Govardhan Studios online.
Haribo!
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. So just a reflection how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is setting a precedent, like for doing an inward journey, to develop an inward perception. So the darshan that you were also referring, it was so important for him to do it alone. And despite he being the controller and proprietor and maintainer of everything, he's and so many ready servants to assist him. He was showing us by example that there's something that we have to do.
Prabhupada used to take prasadam alone. He would sit, sometimes just face the wall. He didn't talk, and he'd take prasad. It can be really nice. When in the earlier days, doing the parikram here, a lot of times I go alone. And I had some of my best parikrams just by myself. And it's something mentioned in the Bhagavatam about the Avaduta Brahman. Talks about how there's a young woman with 2 bangles. And when these young men came, they were possible suitors. She broke off the other bangle, so she only had one. And some of the acharyas talk about the bangles and how when there's 2, they clank together. So being alone can be good. Okay, anything else? We need one Gauranga. When along the way you fall unconscious in ecstatic love of Godhead, who will protect your belongings? The water pot, garments, and so forth. Sri Nityananda Prabhu continued, here is a simple Brahmana named Krishnadas. Please accept him and take him with you. That is my request. Purport, this Krishnadas, known as Kala Krishnadas, is not the Kala Krishnadas mentioned in the 11th chapter, verse 37 of the Adi Lila. The Kala Krishnadas mentioned in the 11th chapter is one of the 12 Gopalas, cowherd boys, who appeared to substantiate the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is known as a great devotee of Lord Nityananda. The Brahmana named Kala Krishnadas, who went with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to South India and later to Bengal, is mentioned in the Madhya Lila, 10th chapter, verse 62 to 79. One should not take these 2 to be the same person. He will carry your water pot and garments. You may do whatever you like. He will not say a word. Accepting the request of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya took all his devotees and went to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. As soon as they entered his house, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya offered the Lord obeisances and a place to sit. After seating all the others, the Bhattacharya took his seat. After they had discussed various topics about Lord Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I have come to your place just to receive your order. My elder brother Vishwarup has taken sannyas and gone to South India. Now I must go search for him. Please permit me to go, for I must tour South India. With your permission, I shall soon return very happily. Upon hearing this, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became very much agitated. Catching hold of the Lord's lotus feet, he gave this sorrowful reply. After many births, due to some pious activity, I got your association. Now Providence is breaking this invaluable association. If a thunderbolt falls on my head, or if my son dies, I can tolerate it, but it cannot endure the unhappiness of separation from you. My dear Lord, you are the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead. Certainly you will depart. I know that. Still, I ask you to stay here a few more days so that I can see your lotus feet. Upon hearing Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's request, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relented. He stayed a few days longer and did not depart. The Bhattacharya eagerly invited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home and fed him very nicely. The Bhattacharya's wife, whose name was Sati Mata, the mother of Sati, did the cooking. The narrations of these pastimes are very wonderful. Later I shall tell about this in elaborate detail, but at present I wish to describe Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's South India tour. After staying 5 days at the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally asked his permission to depart for South India. After receiving the Bhattacharya's permission, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see Lord Jagannath in the temple. He took the Bhattacharya with him. Seeing Lord Jagannath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also begged his permission. The priest then immediately delivered prasadam and a garland to Lord Chaitanya. Thus, receiving Lord Jagannath's permission in the form of a garland, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered obeisances, and then in great jubilation he prepared to depart for South India. Accompanied by his personal associates and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu circumambulated the altar of Jagannath. The Lord then departed on his South India tour. While the Lord was going along the path of Alalanath, which was located on the seashore, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gave the following orders to Gopinath Acharya. Bring the 4 sets of loincloths and outer garments I keep at home, and also some prasadam of Lord Jagannath. You may carry these things with the help of some brahmana. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was departing, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya submitted the following at his lotus feet. My Lord, I have one final request that I hope you will kindly fulfill. In the town of Vidyanagara, on the bank of the Godavari, there is a responsible government officer named Ramananda Roy. Purport: in the Amrita Prabha Bhasha, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that Vidyanagara is today known as Porbandar. There is another Porbandar in western India, in the province of Gujarat. Please do not neglect him, thinking he belongs to a Shudra family, engaged in material activities. It is my request that you meet him without fail. Purport: in the Varnashram Dharma, the Shudra is the 4th division in the social status. Paricharyatmakam karma Shudrasyapi Subhavajam. Shudras are meant to engage in the service of the 3 higher classes, Brahmanas, Kshatras, and Vaishyas. Sri Ramananda Roy belonged to the Karana class, which is the equivalent of the Kayasta class in Bengal. This class is regarded all over India as Shudra. It is said that the Bengali Kayastas were originally engaged as servants of Brahmanas who came from North India to Bengal. Later, the clerical class became the Kayastas in Bengal. Now there are many mixed classes known as Kayasta. Sometimes it is said in Bengal that those who cannot claim any particular class belong to the Kayasta class. Although these Kayastas or Karanas are considered Shudras, they are very intelligent and highly educated. Most of them are professionals, such as lawyers or politicians. Thus, in Bengal, the Kayastas are sometimes considered Kshatriyas. In Orissa, however, the Kayasta class, which includes the Karanas, is considered in the Shudra category. Srila Ramananda Roy belonged to this Karana class. Therefore, he was not considered a Shudra. He was also, Srila Ramananda Roy belonged to this Karna class, therefore he was considered a Shudra. He was also the governor of South India under the regime of Maharaj Prataparudra of Orissa. In other words, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya informed Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Ramananda Roy, although belonging to the Shudra class, was a highly responsible government officer. As far as spiritual advancement is concerned, materialist politicians and Shudras are generally disqualified. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya therefore requested that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not neglect Ramananda Roy, who was highly advanced spiritually, although he was born a Shudra and a materialist. A Vishayi is one who is attached to family life and is interested only in wife, children, and worldly sense gratification. The senses can be engaged either in worldly enjoyment or in the service of the Lord. Those who are not engaged in the service of the Lord and are interested only in material sense gratification are called Vishayi. Srila Ramananda Roy was engaged in government service and he belonged to the Karna class. He was certainly not a sannyasi in saffron cloth, yet he was in the transcendental position of a Paramahamsa, householder. Before becoming Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disciple, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya considered Ramananda Roy an ordinary Vishayi because he was a householder engaged in government service. However, when the Bhattacharya was actually enlightened in Vaishnava philosophy, he could understand the exalted transcendental position of Sri Ramananda Roy. Therefore, he referred to him as Adhikari. An Adhikari is one who knows the transcendental science of Krishna and is engaged in his service. Therefore, all Grahastha devotees are designated as Das Adhikari. 64. Tomar Sanger Jogya Teho Ek Jan Prite Vite Rasik Bhakta Nahi Tar Sam. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya continued, Ramananda Roy is a fit person to associate with you. No other devotee can compare with him in knowledge of the transcendental mellows. He is a most learned scholar as well as an expert in devotional mellows. And that brings us to our first break. We'll be back here, if you so desire, at 21 minutes after. Okay? See you then.